Hello. Welcome to Painting Therapy. Another week, another painting. Let's get started here. My colors. First, we are going to use titanium white. Right here. I love titanium white. It's very important. And it's probably the most used color on the palette. But it's very useful. Next, I want to grab some burnt umber. It's one of my darkest colors. It's very dark brown. And I use it to really make a lot of colors darker, to bring that value down. It's important. Got yellow ochre here, an earth tone. Really like yellow ochre. Very, very useful color. Next, I've got some Prussian blue, very deep, dark blue. I do enjoy Prussian blue. I love that. Next, I've got cad red. Very, very vibrant. But when we mix our colors together, we can create a lot of colors by using that red. Let's grab a little bit of the sap green. Not too much, just a little bit. Sap green can be fun. There we go. And what the heck? Let's do some yellow. And you know what? I'm going to do a little bit of orange. Love my cad orange. There we go. Very, very thick consistency. Very powerful. So I don't think we'll need much more than that. My left hand, when I paint, I have this glove. What's funny is, touching these tubes of paint. You get paint all over your hands just touching these. Oil paints, they get everywhere. So easily, too, without even trying. I don't know what kind of brush. Ooh, let's try this guy. This little guy. You know what? I think I want to start with a brush a little bit bigger. Not much. Maybe this one. I don't know if you can see this up close, but it's very old. I've used this brush for many paintings. It's kind of falling apart. Let's hope it lasts today. Sometimes they don't last through a whole painting. So I want to start on the sky. I love this composition. I've been working on this today, and it really is all about these colors that I'm working with. I do like these crooked trees and these limbs. It's going to be really fun. But I really want to have just a sense of design, kind of a color design. So mixing our colors today, that's going to be my focus. I want these bluish trees, and I'm definitely influenced with this painting from Japanese woodblock prints. If you watch this show, sometimes I talk about how Japanese landscape art is just so inspiring for me. So let's mix up the sky color. I want to start with a pretty pure blue. Pretty pure, but not that pure. Let's add some burnt umber to it to tone it down. This will kind of mute the blue so it's not so cartoonish for me. I kind of like that. Let's make it a little bit deeper though. A little bit more of this Prussian. And so today, I really want this to be a heavy impasto painting. I want this to be very thick. And I just want a lot of texture. So when you come up to the painting in real life, you can kind of walk around it and see the light reflecting off of it. When I go to museums and galleries, I always love to see work that's got heavy impasto. Just a lot of impressionist paintings are like that. They really globbed on the paint. Other paintings, though, at museums, they're going to be like glass. They're going to just be so flat with no texture at all. It takes all kinds of artists, Takes all kinds. I'm not going to go too close to these trees. We can kind of fiddle with these later. I want to just kind of lay in this basic sky color, mostly for my own satisfaction and to see more. If I just start putting color down, I can start seeing options. It creates choices. And so as creative people, if we're stuck and if we don't know what to do, if we don't know how to start a project, just start. What? Your first thing you do is a mistake. Then you can fix it. You identify it's a mistake. Ooh, now you're getting somewhere, We can do that if we just start a project. I've learned that many, many times in my life. Just start. Just begin. And you'll make mistakes. And today I will, Bob Ross, he would say, we don't make mistakes. You know what? I do. But I learn to go with them. I'll call it whatever I want, I'll call it whatever I want to call it. If you call it a mistake, that's fine. But it's what you do with it. Do you get mad? Do you get mad about a mistake? Getting mad about mistakes that we make, it's because we've identified ourselves as a good person. And we're holding on to that. We're thinking, I'm good. Or I'm a good painter. I don't make mistakes. And so when we do make a mistake, it hurts our identity. And paying attention to that pain we feel in our heart when a situation happens really can identify for us in our lives our sort of areas where we've formed our identity around different skills we have, so forth. And I'm talking about this because I need to share something personal that happened to me yesterday. I started a painting here in the studio. It was a couple of swans. So I was working on these swans, and they just weren't looking right. And I kind of realized, you know what? This isn't working on this show. These swans aren't going to work because it would just take too long, and I don't know. I just didn't want to do it. It wasn't looking right. So I started getting mad. Got angry. Very angry. I was cleaning off the canvas, the other one. I poked a hole in it by accident because I was being so rough because I was mad. And I've thought about it all last night, all today. Why was I so mad? And the answer was so simple the whole time. It's because I've formed an identity around being a good painter, and a good painter doesn't make mistakes. Oh no. A good painter doesn't. A good painter can paint anything with ease. It's like, Thomas, how about you don't try to identify as a painter, as a good one? Oh, maybe just a painter. You're not a good painter or a bad painter. Hey, maybe you're just someone who experiments. Why don't you form an identity around someone who just wants to be creative and makes, mistakes, and that's okay. That's fine. All right, mixed up more of this blue. Let's come through here. I want to kind of poke some sky holes in here. I don't want these trees to be so thick. So I'm just going to kind of lay this in, not too much, just here and there. Just some of these areas. Let's see, maybe something here and there. I don't know. There we go. We'll paint around these later. But yeah, with this technique here, I really want to just kind of have it be a paint by numbers, just really thick, a lot of paint. And I want the colors to be the beautiful part, I want it to just be pretty colors that just make you happy when you see it. But yeah, I've been thinking about this idea of identity and how it really causes us so much pain, what we choose to wrap our identity around. We can do it around our family history. We can say, well, my parents were this way, and my family history is this way, therefore I am that. That's me. Think about it, we really struggle sometimes to even identify who we are. Who are you? Well, my name's Thomas. Okay, that's a sound, Thomas. That doesn't tell me anything. Go on. Oh, sorry, a sound. I guess that is just a sound. A name is just a sound. Okay, well, I'm a creative person. Oh, okay. Oh. I graduated high school, and then I dropped out of college to make commercials. Oh, so you're a rebel. Oh, yeah. I identify as such. Ooh, formed my identity around that. Oh, I had this sort of childhood, and you see, we start forming, but it's like, who is that? That's an accomplishment. That's not you. You aren't something you've done. What are you? What are you? Are we just accomplishments? Are we just are we what we do? Are people who don't accomplish much in life worth less than people who do? No. Okay, then your accomplishments shouldn't be part of your worth. Because otherwise, yeah, okay, so other people who don't accomplish as much as me aren't as good. Our accomplishments don't matter because the world is going to explode someday. The sun's going to like consume the earth or something, like 100 million years. So any little accomplishment you do, you think it matters? Is that who you are? Okay. We form our identities around these ideas of who we are and what we're good at. It feels good. Some people, they form their identity around their status. Well, my great-grandfather started this thing, and makes them feel good. That's me. They form an identity around it. I've done that in the past. Oh, well. I was never good at sports or anything, so I didn't form an identity around that when I was in high school, but I was good at music. So I thought, some of these people, they can't even sing. They don't appreciate music like I do. Our identity has to one-up people somehow. Got to one-up people. So people who, have athletic builds and beautiful faces, they identify with their bodies. But people who aren't born attractive, they never do identify with that. They might cling to something else. They might cling to their identity, might cling to their ability to draw or to do math better than other people. And they say, see, I'm better than you at this. This is who I am. We don't form our identities around things we're bad at usually. Normally we form our identities around things we can beat people at because we want to be better than them. It's sad, but it's true. It's harsh, but it's true. Okay, let me try to get some yellow ochre. I don't know if you understand what I'm talking about. This idea that just like, we're not worthy unless we accomplish something. Or this idea that like, we have to earn our worth in the world. Let's come up here with this color. I want to kind of work down to a little bit more of a yellow blue. All right, coming up here. Ooh, look, we'll blend these two kind of colors together. Kind of working up here, little strokes. I like these little strokes. It's kind of like, when you're looking at something with your eyes, you see a bunch of little dots and stuff. This is kind of how I see the world. I like this. So the back of this canvas, it's really gotten loose. I got it wet earlier. I'm gonna walk away really quick, cut the cameras. I'm gonna show you this canvas is just too loose. I'm gonna tighten it up. And the way you do that is by getting the back wet. It makes the fabric tight. So I'm gonna take this down. And I'll be right back. See, listen to this. That's the sound of a bad canvas. I'll be back. All right, so this is an example of a good canvas. I made the whole back wet. Listen now. It's kind of like a drum. So that's what you want. In case you were interested and you didn't know that. All right. All right, I'm gonna put on a glove. Keep going. So yeah, I've added some yellow to this blue, yellow ochre, some white. And we're gonna it's gonna get a little bit lighter and a little bit more yellow as we go back down. The sky, I feel like, has that gradation sometimes. I had a lot of fun designing this. It kind of looks simple. Oh, he just sketched it. No. You make preliminary sketches. You make sure it's working. You don't want to waste a big canvas like this. I don't just go into this without knowing what I'm going to do. I have a little bit of a plan. Oh, that feels so much better painting on this hard surface like this. So this all started me talking about this topic of identity, what we identify with, because I got so angry when my painting didn't work out. And I figured out it's because I've identified, Thomas, you're a great painter. You can paint anything. And these swans, I had painted it before, a smaller version, but it wasn't on this show. I wasn't talking when I did it. And so I got mad about the show too. I thought, well, now, I've chosen to do the show every week and I can't do every painting that I want to because I'm not good enough. And if I was just a better painter, I could do more and I could impress people. See this? It's all because of my identity. Phew. I shouldn't identify with my accomplishments or my abilities, because when things don't turn out the way you want, we get angry. But it's a privilege. It's a wonderful thing in life. We can figure out, wait a minute, why am I torturing myself? Why am I complaining about this and that all the time? Oh, it's because I was identifying with something I shouldn't. I know that's a weird concept. But this small idea of I, me, what is it? What is that? Am I just, a product? I'm from America. I'm an American. Okay? My mom was born in Prescott, Arizona. My dad was born in Burley, Idaho. Oh, is that who you are? Yeah. How do you tell someone who you are? Well, my parents were this way. I'm the youngest of 6 children. Grew up in Mesa, Arizona in the United States. When I was 8 years old, I starred as Winthrop in the community play of Music Man. And, for the first time in my life, I've developed a identity around making people laugh and being an actor. And I started thinking, I'm funnier than other people. So in school, I kind of formed an identity around that. I became the funny guy because I couldn't do sports like some of the guys, and I wasn't smart. I couldn't do math. I tried. I would always fail. I couldn't do math like everyone else. So I made myself a funny guy who made people laugh. And then I got into music. I was in a band in high school, and that's who I am. I'm a musician. In my life, I've gone through all these different evolutions of self. Convinced myself I'm this or that, and then it changes. So am I my abilities? Am I my accomplishments? I'm just going around these sticks and twigs all the way up to it. I'm just wanting to do that right now. It's kind of fun. My sketch. So the sketch will show through. I think that's fun for it to be recessed. I'm excited about that. But this could take a while to get around all these little sticks and twigs. And if any of them aren't quite right, we'll kind of go over it again, perhaps, or maybe we'll just erase it if I don't get it the way I want. And that'll be fine. I painted extra ones just in case. But yeah, I formed this identity. And I'm just realizing this. And this is why this show is called Painting Therapy, because when I paint, I can finally be honest. I don't know why, but I just feel so open when I'm painting that I can figure things out that I've been struggling with. And oh my goodness, I just realized something. When I was in high school, we won the Battle of the Bands contest. We got $200, and I had another $100 that I'd saved, and I was like 17 years old, 16. And I had written all these songs for our band, and we had performed a few times. And so we took our winnings and we took my savings and we recorded an album. Our band was called Favored Nation. And we just had these silly songs. We thought we were trying to be like the Beatles or something. This was in like 2006. Anyway, we recorded an album, and I put my heart and soul into this thing. This was my identity. One of the songs I'd written on this grand piano in this hotel in Virginia. I was staying one time, and I'd never been somewhere so amazing. I saw a golf course there. I tried to go golfing, but I didn't have the proper clothes. I never tried golfing again. But I'd written one of the songs there in Virginia, and man, I remember crying that night, playing the piano, writing this beautiful song. I was so proud of it. It was who I was. That's who I am. I'm a songwriter. So we recorded this album, and it took a lot of work. And I felt like some of the guys who didn't contribute money like I did, they didn't work as hard. And I remember being mad. This guy only came in for a little while. He wasn't as dedicated. I was more dedicated. I was kind of mad because my identity was being around someone who, my identity was formed around being a person who got things done. And so, they're not as dedicated as I am with this. Anyway, I remember that. But we finished the album, And I was hanging out with my friends in high school. And I remember at lunchtime, we were away from the campus in my friend's car. And I said, hey, I've got this CD my band recorded. And there's these two girls in the car. I wanted to impress them. Hey, put it in the CD player. So they did. They put my CD in. The music started. And every song played. We went through every song in the CD. Silence. I didn't know what they were thinking. I was hoping they were impressed. When the last song was done playing, and there were 7 songs, and I've cried about this for years, I'm not kidding. When the last song was done playing, one of the girls turned on the radio in the car, and Nickelback was on. And she said, oh, sweet, Nickelback. And everyone started singing along to their fun Nickelback songs. I didn't know what Nickelback was, but they loved it. And I remember I died inside. I was devastated. I cried for hours that night. I was so sad. I felt like I was a failure. And this is what happened because of it. I was told by one of our band members that we were to sell the CDs for $7.50 each. After that experience where people kind of, they didn't respond to my music, I thought, we're no good. Our music isn't worth that. So I started giving away the CDs. And then when my friend found out that I was giving away CDs, he confronted me. He called me a liar for some reason. Ooh, liar. Now I have an enemy. We didn't talk for like 2 years. And the band was broken up. All because of my ego. Because I had formed this identity around being a good musician. And then when it shattered, I was so mad at everybody. That was a difficult time for me. I didn't even know why. It's so obvious now. It's because I was taking everything so seriously because I was identifying with my abilities, what I perceived were my talents, because I was searching for self-worth. Many people are doing that all the time, just searching and searching and searching. I need worth. I need to be worthy. I need to be able to justify my existence, my life somehow. I know, I'm talking to myself. Maybe you can relate to this. Gotta justify our existence with our contributions to society and so forth. Otherwise, we're not worth very much. So sad. All that pain that I went through at that age, I didn't know that I was identifying with my abilities, my talents, instead of just realizing that I was just the person looking out for my eyes without speaking. That's who we are. When we just sit there and we look, that's why I love art so much. You just sit there and look for so long. You kind of realize that you're just the looker. You're the wanderer. All these things that you've thought you were, your identity's been formed around all these things. That's not you. You don't need to do anything to be worthy of anything. You don't need to accomplish anything to be worthy of life. You're worth everything. You are everything. And I've said that many times on this show. Your nature. Why would you be anything else? Oh, you're an alien? No, probably not. I mean, that'd be cool. But your nature, you came from nature. You came from the earth. As Alan Watts says, an apple tree apples and the earth peoples. You're just an apple on an apple tree. And that apple is part of the tree. It came from the tree. It's the same thing. It came from the tree. You aren't this little independent thing, and our ego loves that. It wants to be independent. It wants to know that it exists. But I'm here to tell you, I found out through a lot of experience and sadness that I'm not my accomplishments. I'm not my abilities. And I'm still falling back into that once in a while. Now, I'm happy to say that I was only upset for about 10 minutes. Then I said, you know what? Let's remember what the Buddha says. You get hit by one arrow, that's life. You can't help that. You're going to get hit by an arrow. Something's going to go wrong. But the second arrow and the third arrow, that's you thinking about it for the rest of the day. You don't need to think about it. Just let it go. Then the pain of that first arrow will subside with time and you can move on. Sometimes people have a horrible arrow that hits them when they're young, and then they think about it every day. And every day they let that arrow hit them again. It's trauma. It's not good. I've done that for years. Relived stories. Well, this happened. Oh yeah, this happened. Oh yeah, I remember that. And I'd get mad again. And I liked it. And that's the thing, you got to admit, you like being mad, don't you? We do what we want. But sometimes we want to be mad. Sometimes people want to be mad for years. Let's lighten this up a little bit. Sometimes people want to be mad for the rest of their lives. I remember wanting to be mad. Didn't know that was the term for it, though, back then. I didn't realize. I hadn't figured that out. Hadn't figured it out yet. More blue here. I want a very light, but very greenish. Some more yellow, gray, and white. More white. Let's just brighten it right up. Ooh, fun, fun, fun. We'll use this. All right, with this rest of this color, we're just going to start down here and work our way up. Now, we did the sky first because I like to work just the farthest away, coming closer. But the other day, I painted some trees first. I liked that too, so sometimes I change my mind. But usually I like to work and kind of get this gradation right and see, okay. And we want the sky to get lighter because it's kind of forcing your eye back. It's saying there's depth, it's farther away. There's atmospheric perspective. That happens in the world. We can notice that. So yeah, I just got so mad when I couldn't paint those swans. But then I reminded myself, this is a game. It doesn't matter. Life's not even a game. It's just a big joke. Just have fun with it. You can either choose to be upset when something bad happens, or you can smile and say, you know what? I'm just going to move on. But controlling our minds like that can be very difficult. And for many years, I didn't think it was possible. I didn't think I could control my thoughts. A lot of people can't, though. They're controlled by that subconscious mind. It's just coming up all the time. They don't know why they do what they do. I know, because I used to be that way for a long time. Didn't even realize I could. When I was angry, I was angry. I was in that emotion. I was thoroughly in my anger when I was angry. That's being unconscious. That's being asleep. It's fun, though. Life, ooh, if you're craving drama, pretend that life just really matters. That everything you do is so important. And you know, that makes people feel good. Meaning. It probably sounds like I'm making fun of it. We're desperately holding on to these things, though. And it's not funny. But at the same time, it kind of is. We want meaning desperately because we're terrified of losing ourselves when we die. We want to feel like we were worth something. I think that's beautiful. I think maybe evolution gave us that. Evolution provided that. Hey, continue your species better and better and better and better. I don't know. So we don't need to feel bad about wanting to prove ourselves or wanting to accomplish great things in our lives. But we can recognize that it's futile. Oh, okay, I did not like this sketch. I want this tree to be kind of dead, so I'm going to kind of dig into it like that. Kind of go like this a little bit. Ooh, I like that. All right, that'll be better. Heavy impasto, a lot of paint. All around this tree. All right, up to this mountain. This is going to be a little guy, little mountain. Very excited. This is so funny going around all these. This is absolutely a technique that I've seen in beautiful paintings that I love. But it's probably not very common. They probably, this isn't the way I would advise that you paint trees. I'm not an art teacher. I know quite a bit about art, but I'm not an art instructor. But yeah, I got so mad when that painting didn't work out. I thought about it and thought about it. And wow, I'm glad it didn't work out because I made that connection tonight that I remembered my band broke up because someone took it too seriously. We were all taking it seriously, though I wasn't the only one. I'm going to get a smaller brush for some of these parts. A lot of times I just use one brush, but today I want to get a little bit smaller here and there. There we go. That'll be nice. But you know what? I learned lessons from that. That was a good time in my life. I learned a lot of lessons about life doing that experience, recording that music. And you know what? My music was good. I let those people tell me what to think. We need to be more confident. You know, they liked Nickelback, and some people like Nickelback. I've never heard of them. I like the Beatles, and I like classical music. And so my band in high school, I felt was, we're superior. We're not simple rock. We're genuine rock, influenced by the greatest, the Beatles. That was my perspective. There's no right or wrong way to like music. There's no music that's, you shouldn't like. If you're drawn to a certain kind of music, that's great. So I think I felt so, I took it personally. Oh, I'm no good because they don't like my music. I must not be talented. I must be worthless. All these feelings just because I formed my identity around the idea that I was a great musician in high school. That was a very difficult experience. I know it sounds silly, but yeah, when you maybe you could write in the comments, let me know if you understand that. Like, if you've thought you're good at something and then realized you're not, it's a real blow to you. And we laugh about it on TV. We get people on these talent shows and sing off tune. You idiot. You didn't know you were bad at singing until we told you. It's very sad. But, I bet a lot of hearts have been broken. All right, let's continue. I'm sure there'll be more with sky, and I'll touch that up again and again. I would do the mountain next, but I just want to focus on this blue. In fact, I want to do this darker blue. These are closer, and then there's these, and then there's some back here. Some layers of trees, but I want to do this I'm going to do this dark blue color for these trees. I'm kind of excited about this. Little bit of white, not too much. Beautiful Prussian. Well, first I want to test the waters and kind of, ooh, look at that. You know what I want to do for these guys? I want to kind of do a bunch of little dots and leave little openings here and there. I want to have this, kind of these vertical movements. This will be fun. Just kind of, not as much paint, just giving it a different texture than that sky. Completely different texture here, going down. And I'm really pushing the boundaries with these colors. I really want this picture to look, kind of like Van Gogh a little bit, or something like that. And I really want this picture to just be representational, very symbolic, more than realistic. All right, going around this branch. So yeah, our what we identify with, it'll change eventually, and we'll lose it. People who are young, who have good looks, one day they'll look in the mirror and they'll be old, and they've lost their identity. Oh no, I can't be getting old. What's wrong? Well, happens to everybody. We lose everything. Life takes everything. It's very sad. It's very sad, but life takes everything from us eventually. Let's remember that. Come on, Thomas. Wouldn't your show have more views if you were positive and didn't bring up all these weird things? Hey, you know what? This is my brain. We gotta just be, I don't know, like not have an identity around anything besides just being alive. Just looking around. Hey, here I am. That's me. That's kind of fun. Let's go all the way up here between these guys. All right. Little strokes downwards. Not as much paint. It's very thin, especially as I go down lower. I want to have like a kind of a lighter blue go up. Slight gradation here. Ooh, right between these two trees. Nice. And these. Yeah, so sometimes we call it the ego. A lot of times we think someone with an ego is someone who is thinks they're better than everyone else. But we can also have an ego around being worse. We can keep that as part of our identity when we're the persecuted. Some people actually are. But many, many things that we complain about that's from our ego. We want to be a victim of something. Victimhood. It's a kind of a negative. You can either, hey, I've got this great sports car. Look at me. I've got this incredible sports car. Or you can, and you're trying to show it off. Or you can say, look at me. I've got nothing. I've got nothing. And you can identify with that and complain about it. Oh, they have something for now, but someday they'll die. And they can't take anything they own with them. We're all the same. All during our lives. Trying to get ahead, trying to be better than everyone else. Always competing with others. It's like, come on. We all end up in the same spot. Oh well. Maybe we shouldn't take life so seriously. I was thinking the other day, like when I was young, I thought life was a test. I really did. I better pass this test. I better do as good as I can. Let's add some yellow ochre. And then I began to think that life was a game. Oh, fun. And now I think life is a big joke. It's a big joke, a little bit lighter. Just a joke. It's nothing to be taken seriously. Yeah, there are some things we can take seriously. There are some things that truly matter. Like being safe and being secure, being, protecting people you love, making sure that, I work. I have children, and I work so they can have a place to live, and that matters to me. That matters to me. We can do things that matter, but in the grand scheme of things, let's always keep in the back of our minds, nothing really matters very much. And if we operate out of that space, of love and just, it's a passiveness, almost like nature. Nature doesn't jump in and intervene. It just says, let's keep going. So we can sometimes be more passive a little bit. Just let life just kind of, just give into it and just say, you know what, I'm going to trust life. I'm going to stop thinking that I know better. I was thinking about a movie the other day that I watched years ago. Jim Carrey. It was called like Bruce Almighty. Yeah, that's what it was. And he became God in the movie. And God gave him all his powers. He said, it was Morgan Freeman. He said, I'm going to give you all my powers and you'll be God. Okay. So Jim Carrey was so eager. He did all the things he thought would be good. And then the world fell apart, of course. And you know what? It's just a symbol. It's just symbolism, The idea of God is just a symbol. For me, God is just nature. It's all around us. It's everything. That's what I consider to be God. Just everything. Everything I see. Even, I'm part of it. I'm part of this beautiful thing, that you can consider to be God or nature. You know what? I want to do these distant trees this color. I like that. But yeah, that's the way I think. I think that we are nature, and nature's perfect. Nature doesn't make mistakes. Nature just, wants us to try to do our best and try to be happy. Be nice to people. Be kind. That's all. Be loving. Don't try to be better than anyone else. Don't try to prove that you're important. Just be nice and forgiving and loving. Ooh, that's very fun. This is nuts. I hope this turns out. I really love it though. I'm just loving this. I'm going to go even higher. I'm going to have more of this blue. Get it darker again. Let's come up here. I want to kind of fill this in. Ooh, I like that a lot. These trees are just really tall, and these other green trees are going to kind of be, these leaves are going to kind of cover them up a little bit. Okay, let's try that. All right, lighten this blue up. Let's add more white. Doesn't take a ton of white. Lighten these up. There we go. There we go. There we go. Let's darken it up a little bit more. I'm liking it. Let's add some burnt umber. Tone it down. All right, let's start on this guy. A little bit lighter because it's farther away. Very blue. And in nature, things do become more blue as they get farther away. But this, I'm just going to really push it to the limits. Kind of experimenting with color today, feeling a little crazy. Just want to do some new things. Look at that. Very interesting tree, kind of cut out shape there. There we go. Not going over this sketch, just trying to keep it kind of going right up to the other color. Trying to create something that's just kind of makes you feel a certain way. For me, that's what painting's all about. Painting should make you feel a certain way. And a painter shouldn't have to explain, well, I'm trying to, this is what it's about. It's like, you see it and you know. That's what makes a painting special. That feeling is communicated, you know. And there's no words to describe it. We don't need to use words to talk about paintings. We can just experience them. Same with nature. When we look around, we don't need to use words to talk about nature. We can just look. That's an oak tree. That's a willow tree. Well, there you go. You have your reward. Good job. You know the word willow. Go touch the bark. Go touch the leaves of that tree. Wouldn't that be great? Then you'll experience it, not just think about it. The word doesn't mean anything. All right, let's kind of work our way up here, and then I kind of want to get a little bit darker. Let's add a little bit more Prussian. A little bit more. A little bit more. Let's add the rest of it. There we go. A little bit darker. I love some burnt umber too. Why not? There we go. So yeah, when we experience nature, we can just look. It's so pure to just look. And it takes hard work because you have to deny your thoughts. You have to say, nope, go away. I'm just looking. Oh, but think about how you would paint that. No, just look. But wouldn't it be great to think about painting it? No, just look. It's hard work. My wife and I went on a walk. We had wonderful conversations, but at times I was looking and I was just not thinking a word, just looking. The beautiful Superstition Mountain. But I wasn't thinking mountain. I wasn't thinking superstition. I was just experiencing it, letting myself just experience it without thought. I love going to that space, and painting has helped me get there more often. Painting brings me to that space. Okay, I want to get a little bit of a darker blue here for the base. Ooh, there we go. Check this out. Down here. Then we'll get lighter as we go up a little bit. But yeah, it's nice to just try. I mean, and I can't do it all the time. I can do it for a little while. And then thoughts pop in my head, and I think, oh yeah, that is, but it kind of takes away from the experience. So especially when I'm trying to experience nature, so I can paint later and really have that kind of internalized with me, I really try to just feel it instead of thinking. That's fun. All right. I'm looking for consistency here. I'm looking for just a solid idea. Very basic kind of idea here. All right, let's have this get darker at the base. Trees get darker at the base. There's more shadows. We can get these a little bit darker. That'll look good. There we go. Just at the base here. Trees are getting farther and farther away. There. Kind of bring that up. Kind of makes other layers of trees. We can kind of, little guys at the base of them, little bushes and things. Okay, and I want this to be very light, lighter than the rest, because it's getting farther away. There we go. So yeah, I like to talk about what it feels like to be an artist, and I like to really think about not so much the painting itself, but like the approach to it as artists. Are we approaching the art in the right headspace? Because really that's what separates artists from non-artists. Artists approach painting in a certain headspace. All right, let's come up here with this lighter blue. All right, just these far away trees, very distant, farthest ones yet, a lot lighter than these. And right through here, a lot of paint in these distant ones. Let's give them some texture way back there. All right, all the way up to those. Love it. All right, let's do this mountain. Let's mix up a new white. I don't want a pure white. I kind of want it to be let's actually start with white, and then let's grab some red. Ooh, not very much though. Nah, just a little bit of red. Red goes a long way. Don't want to go too far. A little bit of yellow ochre, a little bit of burnt umber, a little bit. Tone that down. Beautiful. Let's come up here. All right. I want to kind of right here at the base. Ooh, that's good. Beautiful. Right up to these distant trees. I mean, this is a very interesting style that I don't know why I developed it, but I don't do this all the time. A lot of my paintings have different styles, but this one, ooh, I was just really drawn to wanting to do this kind of painting today. There we go. Ooh. Got to keep my brush clean. I keep wiping it on this paper towel. Got to keep the brush clean. All right. Because if it mixes with the blue, it'll just... I want to kind of fade this mountain almost all the way. Just almost all the way to this green. So far away. And then a little bit there. One more little mark here. And let's make this tree a little bit more irregular by going over it here and there. There. Fun, fun, fun. So that's our distant mountain, and we can work forward. Let's put some snow here, and that snow can be a little bit more red. Let's introduce a little bit more saturation. Just a touch. There we go. Let's try that. There's another bank here. Let's make it a little bit brighter. Slightly. There we go. That'll be good. Oh, good. Just another snow bank, kind of far away. Another layer. I wanted all these layers. Boom, 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 boom. Going all the way back. Very fun. Just going to grab all this paint and just kind of let that be thick. Beautiful. I love thick oil paints. I love these brush strokes. It's so satisfying, folks. You got to oil paint if you want to. If you're like, oh, that looks fun, do it. Okay? Do it. Paint. I think it's looking pretty good. Pretty happy with it. Let's work on these trees. Come on, goodness gracious. So of course, to do that, we need to kind of put in some more kind of deep blue mixed with burnt umber. I want to have some dark parts in these trees. There we go. A lot more blue though. There we go. Almost like a black. A little bit of this lighter blue to bring it up just a little bit more. There we go. There we go. A little bit more of that blue. A little bit more. Aha. Very happy. All right, let's come up here with this big brush full of paint, and we'll just kind of lay in some dark spots. Then we'll put in some greenery, but these dark shadows are going to really give a lot of dimensionality here. We want to have some dark spots. So yeah, I'm thinking about that way that we kind of form our identity, and it's false, and it goes away, and it's unsatisfying, and it's always trying to be the best, and it's no good. The ego. You know, I want to kind of walk you through what some of the things that happened to me that kind of woke me up. I took a philosophy class in college. That changed my world. I remember thinking, this is garbage. Like, I don't want to be here. But then I thought, you know what? I don't know what came over me. I thought, you know what? I'm going to just pay attention here. I'm going to try my best in this class. I had the best teacher, philosophy teacher. I forgot her name. But she was so cool. And it was almost like she was speaking right to me. A lot of people in the class didn't pay attention. They didn't care, but I paid attention and I cared. And the allegory of the cave, Plato's allegory of the cave, it got me. It changed my life. Want to hear it? Want to hear the allegory of the cave? Plato? You've probably heard it. Well, there's these people. It's a very weird story. There's these people, and they're chained up in this cave. They can't move. And they're looking at the back wall of the cave, away from the opening. They've never even seen the opening. They don't know about that. They're looking at the shadows on the back of the cave. And there's interesting shadows, because unbeknownst to the people that are tied up, there's these people at the head of the cave there with fire. And they pass these objects in front of the fire, and these people in the cave, they see shapes, flower vase, pot, you know. They say, ooh, shapes. It's a weird idea, but they see these shapes on the back of the cave, illuminated by firelight. And then there's a dude one day. Let's add a little bit of this blue and lighten this up just a touch, just part of it, not all the blue, just touch. Some of that. Ooh, there we go. A little bit more Prussian in that too. I want it very saturated. Here we go. So there's a guy who escapes. Someone lets him go or something, I don't know. His bonds are broken, and he walks right out of that darn cave. And he gets to the end of the cave there. I want to see. Ooh, I like these little dark marks. I want to do this at the base of these trees. Right like this. That's exciting. So he steps out into the sunlight. First he sees shadows on the ground. Then he sees reflections, and then he sees the sun itself, the source of all these things. And he goes back into the cave and he tells the people, hey guys, you won't believe it. There's a world out there. All we're seeing are these little shapes. We don't know there's a whole world to experience. And they killed him. Very sad. The people in the cave killed him. Of course, Plato was talking about Socrates. He said Socrates had seen the other side. He knew what it was about. He had seen it. What had he seen? Well, Socrates said, all I know is I know nothing. He had admitted that he knew nothing. And he never told people anything. He just asked them questions, tried to wake them up. He called himself a midwife. Oh, I like this, these kind of vertical strokes. Very interesting. He called himself a midwife. It helped birth new concepts in people, help them realize things. And I felt like my philosophy teacher was like that, like Socrates. Wow. She was just so good at being patient and just asking questions. She wouldn't say much. She would ask questions. And you'd kind of have to figure things out. And I got so much out of that class. And I walked out of there and my life was changed. But it was just starting to change. It was just starting. Still didn't quite realize some very, very important things. And then one day, I don't remember why, but I came across Alan Watts on YouTube. And I started listening to every single thing he said. Then I started buying books by Joseph Campbell and Carl Jung. And I went down so many avenues. I thought, this person knows, this person knows, this person knows. They know. Still not realizing the truth. It's great. It's wonderful to listen to people. It's wonderful to get wonderful positive messages from people, but it's from you. It's from you, ultimately. I want to do some very dark shapes right here of like pine trees, like some smaller guys. Just kind of, ooh, that's fun. Lay that on. You are, no one's better than you. It's all in you. All the answers that you want. And they don't require words, and you can't find it out in a book. You have to experience it in life. Knowledge comes from experience, not books. Painting knowledge comes from experience, not books. It's the doing of the thing. So, there's no, let's bring some of this over here, like there's some trees back here. A little bit lighter, but not as light. So experience. By being present, not in your thoughts. Remember, the people in that cave, in Plato's cave, they're looking at shadows. Those are thoughts. Thoughts are symbols. Thoughts are symbols in your mind. Two-dimensional, flat, stupid symbols. Those are thoughts. There's a lot more out there than thoughts. All right, let's I got a little bit distracted on these. That was just way too much fun. Let's work on these again. I want to put in kind of an earthy green. Let's start on these closer ones because they're going to be brighter. A very, very earthy green. Let's start with the yellow ochre. Let's put in some of this green and burnt umber. More green, some yellow. I think I would rather have that yellow. I like this cad yellow. Ooh, there we go. Ooh, I like that earthy color. A little bit darker. Experience. Not, oh, wow, I've been to this country. I've experienced this. No. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about that place beyond thought that artists know about, but they keep it a secret. They really do. Very dark up here, very earthy. Really showing off the blues, not the greens here. Very dark, kind of covering this area here. I'm just going to make a clump of goodness here, right around this guy. Big clump of fun leaves. There we go. Fun. Kind of doing kind of that, kind of thinking about leaves. All right, let's have a little bit of a lighter version. I want to get more yellow ochre. We can kind of dabble back and forth, kind of go back and forth between these two, lighter and darker. Let's add some more burnt umber though and darken that down a little bit more. Experience. I'm not talking about, oh, I've been to Venice. I've experienced it. I mean, that's great and all. I'm talking about that place beyond thought, above thought. It's beautiful. We can go there. We can go there. We don't have to be thinking all the time. Thinking causes problems. But thinking can be good, creative thinking. But brooding about the past. That's what I've done. I was torturing myself for years. I didn't know. I had suffered with depression. It was all brought on by me torturing myself about things, about the future, about the past. Thinking all the time instead of just living. We can just sit there. Oh, I've been sitting in this office for 25 minutes and the doctor has still not come by. What? Does he think he's better than me? Does he think that I'm stupid? See, all these thoughts go through our heads. We're torturing ourselves. Or we can just sit there and look at that wallpaper. Like a kid. They're not getting somewhere. They're not trying to prove something. I'm busy. How dare this man take my time away from me? You know? Kids don't care. They'll find something to occupy themselves with. Usually today that means they're on a phone. But we'll see about this area. I'm not quite sure yet. I want to add some more dark blue. Let's add some burr number to this. Come up with a very, very dark blue. But yeah, we always want things to go our way, and so we start thinking, all these horrible thoughts, instead of realizing that we can control our thoughts and we can choose when we are sad or happy. And when we are mad, when we're engulfed in it, we need to remember that we want to be that way. We want to be mad. Why? No, I don't know. Figure it out. But you don't have to figure it out. You can just stop being mad. I know that probably sounds infuriating. But with practice, you can choose to be happy. I've said this a couple times now, but I think it's important. I was in a therapy session years ago, and my therapist said, Thomas, you need to be happy. Well, how could I possibly be happy? The world is a horrible place. There's people dying. I'm going to die someday. How could I be happy in this stupid, wretched world? Think positive. Why? Well, we don't need to think very much at all about anything because things aren't positive or negative in the long term. If you go far enough into the future, things just kind of equal out. Nature has a way of just making sure everything just kind of equals out someday. We don't need to stress about it like Bruce Almighty. We don't need to think that we're better than nature. Nature has control. It knows what it's doing. We don't need to be prideful and think that we know better than nature itself. We don't need to do that. That's silly. Ooh, this is fun. Very fun, dark areas. Just putting in this blue. I'm probably going to put some other greens on top of it and stuff. At the base of some of these. I'm going to go back and forth with that blue. Let's add a little bit here, though, and then we'll work on these guys. Right at the base. I want it to be darker at the base. I like these little clumps of leaves, just kind of simplifying things, representational leaves. All right, darker green first. And I'm just going to do some marks here at the base. Good. Thinking about shape and things. All right, getting lighter and lighter. Ooh, fun. Sun's hitting the top of these little guys. This is too much fun. Little clumps of leaves. And right here. And we'll be able to put a little, and I'm really just globbing it on like they're leaves, like it's kind of texture. It's really fun. Just really get the paint on there, let it be very textured. Gives the illusion of detail. A little bit. when you walk around it. It's very fun to see those leaves. Wonderful. All right, testing the waters there. I'm very happy. I want to do these trunks. And the sun is just really hitting these trees. It's coming like from us. It's like, bam. So these are being illuminated really bright, pretty much as bright as they are now, but I want it to be a different color. So let's grab this orange, burnt umber. Ooh, that's beautiful. All right, let's come up here. All right, I want this to be the shadowy part of the trunk because that would be just so dark, you know. But right here, there. Oh, that's fun. Fun. We'll make these brighter too as we go. Big confident strokes. Coming down, then let the paint break. That's what I'm gonna do. Coming down, let it break. Like it's bark. Think bark thoughts. And then down here, with a slight gradation, let's actually introduce a little bit of this pink. We'll have it be lighter as it goes down. Lighter, lighter, lighter. So we'll kind of, gets lighter. That's fun. And then at the very base, let's add some yellow to this pink and kind of bring it over here. There. Oh, that's fun. Look at that. And we'll let the canvas show through too. That'll be kind of some fun texture. We don't have to do all the work here. All right, a little bit more lighter colors just here and there to kind of give a little bit of shape to this tree. Look at that, coming down on the side there. Wonderful. A little bit more yellow. Just some more shape. Kind of build up the texture. Oh, there we go, there we go. Give a little bit there. Fun. That's great. All right. Let's do this one. I want to add a little bit more red. Just a little bit of red to this. Ooh, good. And some more white. And a little bit of white and orange. A lot of orange. There we go. Some yellow ochre. Burnt umber. And some more orange. Really like that orange. All right, there we go, there we go. All right, let's come up here. All right, this trunk here. Let's just kind of let the paint break down. Going down. And, I just want to make sure that we don't cover up the whole canvas texture here because it's kind of aiding in this idea of this trunk. There we go. And then down here, let's add more yellow and white. Let's get it brighter. There we go. Ooh, I like that. I like that a lot. Okay. Just kind of a little bit green. That's fun. This poor little guy, he's a little bit crooked. Little bit of a crooked tree. There we go. People, it's so nice. People are like, oh, you're kind of like Bob Ross. I'm not trying to be, but I did watch Bob Ross growing up a lot. Not that I do this method, though. I never got the Bob Ross method, or I never got excited about that. But I remember Bob Ross really taught me how it should feel to paint. And it was more than that. He was teaching me how to live, and I didn't realize it at the time. But looking back, man, he had it figured out. He really did. He had found some peace in his heart, and he was sharing it with the world. And people need to just watch his show and learn what it should feel like to paint. The joy of painting. Let's keep doing these trunks. Let's do these. Same kind of orange. Let's add some more. There we go. Coming down from the top. You know, these guys, I think I might just let the paint break and just ignore the bottom. I might just do that. I might just go, ooh, because it's getting lighter, the canvas texture. Now, before we painted, I did the sketch, and I did cover the entire canvas with burnt umber with paint thinner, in case you're wondering. It's a very common thing. But I knew with this painting that I would really like to use that color. Sometimes I cover up most of the canvas. Sometimes I try to use that canvas color because I kind of like that effortless kind of look where it's like, wow, they didn't need to do it, so they didn't. They didn't have to cover that part, so they chose not to. I like that, and I see that in paintings. And I strive for that. But you know, sometimes I'm not perfect, but I strive for it. Ooh. And then there's artists that do incredibly detailed work. It's incredible. At the base here, I just want a little bit of this. Oh my goodness. That's fun. That is fun. Okay, let's work on this trunk. A little bit less, a little bit lighter. There we go. Mix these two. Oh, clean my brush because I got some blue on it. Keep going all the way down, and we'll let it break too. There we go. Now this guy, there's like this dead tree right next to him, so just kind of right through here. Ooh, let's put this blue through here. Right through here. All right. Gonna go through here. I like that. And then down here, this darker blue. Oh, went over that trunk a little bit. I want to go over this with some more orange, a little bit lighter orange. Just let this kind of twirling my brush. There we go. Way too much fun. Okay, I'm going to step back and assess things, and I'll be back in a minute. All right, I want to add more greenery through here. Let's transfer over here. Just looking back, I'm just really excited to get to this. Ooh, look at that. So I'm going to do these little clumps. Dark leaves first. Kind of more just towards the base of this. We can go over dark oil colors with lighter colors, but it's hard to go over light colors with dark colors, so you got to be careful. There we go. I kind of want some lighter colors towards the base. I want this to be a lot lighter, but I want that dark to show through, so check this out. We'll add some yellow to this. There we go. So look at this. Over that dark color now, this yellow color, lighter green, is really going to show through. And I'm really just sticking it on here, just letting it kind of fall off the brush. Just big globs of it, like they're just kind of shining in the sunlight here. Tuft of leaves. They kind of look like this. This is representational, but sometimes leaves can kind of look like this a little bit. All right. We got an Airbnb recently in Flagstaff, my family, and we were right there by the woods. Well, we were so lucky. And I sketched the trees, and that's what this is based on. But this is very different than what I had seen. This is, but it's inspired by it. The way I sketched the trees that day just really made me so excited. All right. Oh, this is so exciting. Let's make this green a little bit darker even. Let's darken it up. Let's add some burnt umber, a little bit more green to it. Keep it fairly saturated. All right. So this dark green, let's keep going. Let's kind of place it through here, and not too much. Mostly want these to be bright, but this will give it some dimension. These will kind of poke through after we put the light on top, because if we don't do that, then it just won't have dimensionality. There. Ooh, I'm going to put some of this darker green down here. That's good. 3-dimensional. And some right here. There we go. Fun. Okay. This is just too much fun. I love painting. I love it. It's the best. You know, some things in our lives we need to do. You know, we need to do it because it's our thing and we love it. I want to get more of the sky color through here. 1 second. Here we go. All right. Kind of between these. I was too lazy and I didn't want to finish it earlier, but now I'll kind of go through with the sky and go around some of these twigs. Here we go. Right around them. So the twigs are recessed. These little branches are recessed under at a lower elevation than my impasto paint, and it's very thin paint. Let's mix some of these two together. All right, taking this, let's make this green. Oh man, that's oily. I like this thicker. Let's add some yellow to it. There we go. All right, coming through here, more of this green, a little bit lighter now. I added some yellow to it. A little bit through here. Just okay, now paying attention to each little clump of leaves. Let's focus on this guy through here. Just kind of working this lighter color through here like that, and really making sure that it's just kind of this texture of leaves, thinking about leaves while we're doing it. Good. I need more yellow. That's what I need. I need more yellow. Because I want some of these to be brighter. And I'll add a little bit of white too. Just a little bit. Not too much. So let's make a light green here. A little bit of white. And then we'll add yellow ochre. There we go. A little bit more. And some burnt umber. Tone it down a bunch. There we go. Ooh-hoo-hoo. Light green color. Okay. All right. Through here, we can just kind of do more. Let's add some more yellow. Let's brighten it up even more. There we go. That'll be fun. Some spots here and there. Let's go across this. Kind of make different sections here. But being kind of silly with this, you know? These clumpy things. It's kind of a joke, you know? Kind of a little, hey, look at this. It kind of looks like that, doesn't it? You'll say, oh, it does kind of look like that. Kind of a little joke. I feel that way with classical music. These little stanzas, these little remarks that the musicians are making. They're just telling jokes. They're just entertaining us with a new perspective that can really help us see the world in a new way. When I look at Van Gogh paintings, I step away and I see the world in a new way. And, you know, artists can help us do that. They can help us see things in a whole new light, whole new perspective. Good movies can do that too, you know. You see a good movie, you go, wow, my life's changed. My life's changed forever. Shawshank Redemption did that to me. Whew. I could not believe how good that movie was. Could not believe it. Good movie. All right, all these little leaves through here. Let's do kind of a darker color on this trunk. Some burnt umber. It's kind of way up here, so I don't want to draw attention to it. There. Fun. Let's add some more dark green at the base of this guy, and we'll put some lighter colors on top of it. I like that blue, that dark blue. It's just kind of like another idea. So, like I said, inspired by Japanese woodblock prints. I'm trying to use limited colors like they would. And these woodblock prints were very difficult to make. Each color was a whole new block, you know? So they couldn't do very many colors. So these artists, they had to be very selective with what they would do. Just very simple representation. So I'm trying to pay homage to that style. And lately, I just can't help it. You know, I just can't help loving this style. Wonderful. All these little leaves, heavy impasto, a lot of texture. A lot of it. It's very satisfying. You guys can't feel it, darn it. Hey, if you're an oil painter, you know these thick oil paints are so satisfying to use. They just fall off the brush and it just feels so effortless, and it's a wonderful feeling to paint with good oil paints. Yeah. Kind of the quality of the paints matter for me. I see people, oh, look, you can do a whole great painting with cheap paints. That's very true. But, you know, I like paints that just feel like, give me a good experience, and that's nice. All right, just kind of, I want to kind of make this stand out like it's a separate thing. Kind of, You know what I want to do? I want to add some right here. Not too many. There we go. That'll kind of bring it that way. And if you put color on thick enough, you can go over lighter colors. I'm going to bring in some of this sky color again through here. Kind of like that. Let that peek through. Whatever. That's fun. And we can get some leaves and put some right through here. Oh, this is great. And let's make it even brighter, just for a little section here, not too much. I don't want to overdo this, but just, give some definition to some of these so we can help them poke out a little bit more. Like they're protruding forward just a bit more than the rest. The light's catching it. Ooh, that'll be great. Let's add, I need some more yellow ochre. I love yellow ochre. Let's just put, let's mix some yellow ochre and blue. And there we go. And some burnt umber. A little bit more. And some yellow ochre. Quite a bit of it. There we go. And some red. Okay. It's a good dark green. All right, let's go through here and just keep placing in some of these dark green colors. A lot of leaves up here. A lot of leaves. Right up to the sky. This is fun, isn't it? This is just delightful. It's a fun little style. You can do this. It's not very hard. Buy some paints, paint. Goodness. Anyone can paint if they want to. You don't need permission from anybody. Sometimes we just think, I'm not creative, I can't paint. I bet you could. I bet you could. But if you don't want to paint, that's fine. Like I say, you can find anything in this world that kind of makes you excited. Follow your enthusiasm. I love putting it that way. Follow that voice inside you that says, I liked that. That was fun. That helps me not have to think. Help me I didn't have to think for a while. Yep, that's what it'll do. You won't have to think. You know what I mean? That thing that you can do where it's like you get into that flow state, you know? I don't like that term. I feel like it cheapens it. It's not a flow state. You know what? It's life itself. That feeling is pure enthusiasm, and it's delightful, and it should be something that we cherish and honor and strive for, and pursue and perpetuate. Help other people see that you can be you, and you can find that thing that you can do best, that makes you happy. You can do anything that makes you happy that's good. Do it. Doesn't matter if people make fun of you for it or think your art's no good or whatever you're doing. Do it for yourself. If you love what you're doing, that's all that matters, because your time spent doing it will be just wonderful time that you got to do that day something great. And I hope that years from now, someone will be able to see this painting and they'll say, wow, Thomas had a great day. Thomas had some good times here. He enjoyed himself. I want that to come across. All right. This lighter color, and with a lot of yellow ochre added, just a ton of it. Ooh, yes. Okay, I like this. This will really be good in the sunlight here. Just going over some more areas, filling in areas. I want this to be relatively two-dimensional in a flat kind of way, like these are planes of glass or something. So it's not like as three-dimensional, but I do want some three-dimensionality, but not an extreme amount. Kind of a limited dimensionality. I'm kind of pursuing the impasto instead of, the literal. Look at that. Just twirling my brush around. That's so satisfying and fun to kind of have these built up parts that just, man, that's just delightful. Just delightful. Very, very fun. It's getting darker towards here in the corner. I kind of like that. Now let's add a little bit even brighter, just with some white. Not very much, just here and there. Can really just make some parts, just kind of stand out. Like that. Really give them some attention. These parts have really caught the light because they're catching your attention. Oh. Brighter. Oh, that's fun. Something through here. I'm liking the feel of that. Let's get this dark blue and kind of go through here and give some shadows to that. In fact, let's add some dark reddish blue in quite a few areas. Make these dark. It'll make the bright spots show up even more. There we go. Just bring that around. Just kind of make some different shapes. Think about what's going on here and kind of think about design and how you want to kind of separate areas and make them stand out and become their own thing by adding this color there. And some through here. Oh, fun. There. And let's shadow this up a little bit. And that. That. And then let's take this and go over that. Oh, that's fun. Let's add some orange to that. It's like corrective. I love it. That is fun. It's standing out now. Okay. And some burnt umber to this blue. Just going around this trunk. I just want to make this dark side a little bit darker. All right, let's keep going. I want to work on this tree. I want to make it a little bit lighter, just a titch, by adding a little bit more white to both of these. All right, let's do the dark color first. Dark darker green. Let's add a little bit more blue and burnt umber to that. A little bit sap. Make it a little bit darker. Ooh, yellow ochre. And some more blue. There we go. I'm liking that. A little bit more blue. I like that. All right. Good, good, good. All these different areas, just kind of going over them. Thinking, okay, this is the dark area there, and this is the dark area here. I think I'll go over all these areas basically, and then I'll hit it with some light spots. I think I want this tree to be less brush marks, to be different. Not individual leaves, more just like big strokes. Just because I think that would be very fun to do today. There we go. Big stroke like that. And one here. That's fun. Big long strokes with the brush. Letting the paint just come off of it. Running out, I'm gonna have to mix some more. But I don't want to. Well, let's not mix more. I'll just kind of do less and less since I want the top of the tree a little bit brighter. All right, let's now get this lighter color. A little bit more yellow too. A little bit, not much. There we go. Now, we can sort of do this. Let the sunlight hit, not all, but some of these areas. Here and there. There we go. And up here. Good. Let's add a little bit more white. We'll brighten up some more areas. There we go. Put that over there. Great. And a little bit lighter. Going up there. And on this side, why not? And there. Bring this glob down there, kind of fill that in and that. Wonderful. I want to get some dark blue now and kind of go over the base of some of these. Kind of give some more shadow to some of these areas with this dark blue. Kind of go over these sections. There we go. And something like that. That. And there we go. Fun. Now, I want some very, very bright kind of highlights on the side of these trunks, I think. Let's take the snow color and some yellow and just kind of, there we go. I want some more yellow. Kind of like a bright yellow. I need white. I'm running out of colors. I need yellow. I need white. Shoot. And some blue. Sometimes I get so excited I just forget that I need more colors. Oh, there's some more yellow. I'm going to run out of yellow soon. Shoot. All right. I've got white, blue, yellow. Here we go. Okay. Now, I want to add a little bit of make this a little bit brighter. Some yellow, some orange, mix those together, and some white. Bring that up. There we go. And some more orange. And some more white. There we go, here we go. All right. Let's go down this side again. Oh my goodness, that's shining. And right here, just want to hit it again. Okay, and here and here. Now on this other one, just a little bit. All right. Now on this side, I want to do the same thing here and there. The sun's just hitting that. Let the paint fall right off. Right here, right here. That's the pretty stuff right there. That's what it's all about. A little bit more though. A couple more spots. Kind of like the light's catching very selective areas in a graphic way. There we go. Yes. I love that. I love it. I love it. And over here. Let's just bring that down on some of these, not all of them, because it's just too precious, you know. Too precious. There. Wonderful. And let's bring some orange. Yeah, let's bring this color over to this far side here. And right here. Some of that bright orange. That's fun. There we go. Pretty colors. That's what it's all about, right? Pretty colors. Just kind of working with each other. Oh, there we go. And let's give this guy just a little bit more of some light catching this. There we go. There we go. All right. Fun, fun, fun. Okay, now we're going to start with some snow. And we're going to have some shadow snow and some lighter snow. So let's do a shadow snow color right here. And I basically want to do this same color. So let's just grab this. And a little bit of that, a little bit more of the blue. There we go. Something kind of between these two. All right, here I just want to go over some of these shadows. This is going to be a blue shadow coming off this tree on the snow. All the way up to that tree. Then it's going to go behind these. And we're going to have one that goes like that. And I want it to go up. Show the land goes up a little bit and then down. And then kind of ends right there. And it goes there. And that goes there just a little bit. Let's just fill that up. There we go. Oh, fun. Big shadows. Very impasto. Very, very, a lot of it. Let's kind of go over this with that now. And right here. Big shadow from that tree. Big old shadow. There, all the way up to that one. And kind of top of this rock. Very similar color. Might brighten that up or something later. Okay. Now, let's start putting in our snow. All right, I want a darker snow color and a lighter snow color. So let's start with the darker one. Let's start with white. Add some red. There we go. There we go. There we go. Perfect. I'm really liking that. Let's add a little bit of burnt umber. Not too much. Add more red. And some more white. Brighten it up a little bit. That's perfect. Okay. Let's kind of start. Let's start on this side. This is not all of the snow, but I want some of the snow to not stand out as much. I want it to be a little bit less prominent. So I'm just going to kind of start placing in where I want snow to be. We'll put some lighter colors too. Okay. Let's put some right between these two impasto shadows. It'll just be one big mark and we're away. Okay, we'll put a little mark between these guys. And that's it. All right, working our way up between these two trees. There we go. Right up to that shadow, but not touching it. I want there to be some more, look, I'll grab this blue. I'll just kind of do this. Little shadowy thing is kind of making the land a little bit more interesting. There we go. Then we'll put this on top of it and it'll kind of smear, kind of make it look like the land is kind of moving. There we go. Ooh, I want a little lighter, like a kind of a gray color. So right here, let's make a little rock. There. All right. Let's put some snow between these trees here. Kind of all between here. Base of this one. All right. Right through here. Going up to that tree. Wonderful. Okay. Let's start placing more snow through here. And we're going to put highlights here. And it'll really help the snow sparkle. Right now it's a little bit boring, but I'm trying to get across this idea of the land moving down in an interesting way while maintaining these representational angles. And it's an interesting exercise. All right. Wonderful. I am loving this. Let's add some more white and red and some orange and some burnt umber. There we go. Some more burnt umber. I like it. All right. Nice. Kind of this red snow color. I'm going to go around these guys. I'm just going to let that tuft kind of be like the color of the kind of dead leaves on it or something. There. And coming up like this. Loving it as we go, caring about it. You know? Not just the look of the painting, but like the way the paint is coming off the brush. There's just a way that I like that's just satisfying, where it feels like it's meant to be, you know? I know that sounds weird, but this is how artists think. We think about the way it feels to paint. That's what it's all about, coming kind of over this and down. Oh, good. There we go. That. Beautiful. Now some lighter snow. Let's get this white. Mix some of this in with it. A little bit of yellow. A little bit more. A little bit red. There we go. There we go. This is going to be fun. Here we go. Where's the sun really hitting, you know? Where's the sun really hitting? Maybe through there. Maybe like this. You can paint this way, guys. Do it. Try it out. If this is looking fun to you, buy some paints. Have some fun. Life's too short not to paint if you want to. Let me be the encouragement that you need to paint. Wonderful. Let's do some between these two trees and make it bright. Coming down here, let's make that bright. There. Wonderful. I want a little bit of burnt umber in the corner here and some red. Very deep red color, thick paint. And I'm just going to go over some of these rocks. There. Kind of like that. Not all of them, though. Just some of them. Let's do some here. There. Some here. Get that dark. Let this be dark behind here, too. I'm just going to do one line. All right. Now, let's use just some yellow ochre. Gosh darn it. The smallest bit of green. A little bit more. Okay. And I just kind of want to place in some ideas of big old rocks just living here. little indications of these guys. Just bright, confident color. Kind of right through here. There. And let's get this dark color now. And I'm going to kind of scrub this in, just sort of through here, like that, and that. And make some, I'll just use this. Make some lines. There we go. Right here. Okay, now we'll take yellow ochre, blue. All right. Now we can kind of make some more rock things. Gonna put a little bit of red on that too once in a while. Just the idea. Wonderful. Some more snow. Let's kind of lay some snow right here on top of this rock. Bright snow. This is great. I'm loving this so much. This is just so fun. I want to do some of these darker blues back here, just kind of like shadowy snow covering up these guys. There we go. Lovely. Kind of some more shadowy colors through here. That's great. And there. And a little bit of a lighter blue, kind of, so we can get some more shape here and there. It's like on the top of this, a little bit brighter. Just a little bit. Doesn't take much. Like right here. There. Delightful. Okay. I want some lighter snow right through here. Just there. Wonderful. Now, let's come over here and do some more on this side. I need some more white. Gonna need a lot of that. All right. White. Let's make a dark snow color first with red, burnt umber. Mix that in. Perfect. All right. A little bit of orange. A little bit more burnt umber. There we go. Okay, let's start up here, kind of going around these bush things. Let them just kind of live there. And there we go. Big, thick snow. A lot of it. Glob it on there. It's just, you're covering this land with snow. Big globs of it. So yeah, I've been thinking about how my ego was hurt when my painting didn't work out yesterday. And, okay, you know, I'm not perfect. I'm not a saint. But I can recognize, I can let that be. I can recognize that I lost my temper because I was identifying as being a good painter, when really I shouldn't let that be my identity. I'm nature. I'm the universe. I'm not just a little human. Each of us are more than just a little human. We're life itself. We're not a human experiencing the universe. We're the universe experiencing human. We're seeing what it's like to be inside of us, and it's fun, right? Nature is just looking through our eyes for the fun of it, for the heck of it. And right now, nature is saying, look how pretty I am. Look how pretty nature is. Celebrate me. Think about me. And so this is like a self-portrait. Every time we paint nature, it can be like a self-portrait. We're saying, hey, nature, I'm going to paint myself here. That's very fun. A little bit more purple, which is just delightful. Get back here. Oh, coming from the side. All the way through there. On the top of that rock. And now we can do some lighter colors like this. Very simple. Impasto on a simple sketch. I want this to be digestible. I want someone to see this and just be able to understand how it was done. And for them to be excited about it, you know, to think, wow, I could paint too. If they haven't already. I want everyone to paint. It's a wonderful thing. We can do so many things that we don't think we can. Oh, I can't do that. We can. We can do many, many things we think we can't do. Of course, I'm talking to the guy who thinks he can't do sports and has never been able to. I'm sure that was just a mental thing too, right? I'm capable of things. We each are capable of different things. But yeah, when I played sports growing up, I couldn't look at the ball. I was at my son's baseball game yesterday, and he was doing so good. I'm so proud of him. But I was reminiscing to myself about how I was when I was a little boy in baseball, and I would just be looking at the bugs and the clouds, and then the ball would go by, and it was like, Thomas, pay attention. Sorry, I was looking at the bugs. What's the score? What's a score? What does that mean? I didn't know. I never got into it. I don't know why. Never got into sports. I was always jealous, though, because all the cool boys were into sports. I wanted to be like them. Wasn't smart enough to be with the smart kids. Wasn't sporty enough to be with the sport kids. Didn't really quite fit in anywhere I went because I was an artist. And artists are weird, okay? Have pity on the artist, you know. They've got a lot of big feelings inside their heart. Of course, a lot of us do. We pretend we don't. This is great. I want to kind of put some dark blue right through here, but not too dark, but like this. There we go. Fun. And kind of upward marks like the trees are going away. Oh, that's fun. And then one more. Actually, let's do a brown, kind of reddish mark. Just kind of do this. All right. Now, coming forward, let's bring that over. I want some more white snow on this. I just want to really make this bright snow. There we go. Painting isn't just the act of painting itself. When an artist decides they're an artist, they can just, you know, paint everywhere they go. They don't have to actually have a brush. For a while there, I was really loving waking up at 4:30 in the morning and watching the sunrise. And a couple mornings when I was doing it, I didn't have a sketch pen and I didn't want to sketch, but I sketched the trees with my eyes. You can try this. You can sit down. You don't need a pencil. Just look at meticulously look at every leaf, every branch. Don't look away. Don't let yourself look away. Don't let yourself think of anything else. Focus on each branch going up, tracing it with your eyes. It is very fun. You will enter this beautiful space, this tranquil space, and you'll just melt into it, melt into that tree, and just, it's beautiful. It's a wonderful thing to lose yourself when you're looking, just looking. David Hockney is, in my opinion, the greatest living artist today. And he talks about this. I love it. You got to look. It's just all about looking, isn't it? He's so right. I heard him say that once. And I was like, yes, I know exactly what you mean. You're talking about looking, not thinking, looking. And there's a big difference. There's a big difference between thinking and looking. You don't need to think to look. In fact, thinking gets in the way of looking. Hey, let's make this a big dark shadow from a tree. I was tentative about the blue. Let's do the blue anyway. But we'll make it blue still. Very, very blue. With some burnt umber. A little bit darker. A little bit darker still. A little bit more blue. A little bit more blue. It's closer to us, so I want it to be a little bit more dramatic. Ooh, a little bit more white. Let's put in this big shadow. Give a fun little twirl to the brush on the edge here. Really define where that shadow is. A lot of paint. Glob it on. Just waste all this paint. Just let it just go. Think about the shape of this hill. That's being communicated here. There. All the way down. Let's go like that. You're laying in the land with your brush. This is not haphazard. We're laying in the land at the angles that we want. There. Great. All the way to the edge and over just a touch. Good. Let's put a little bit of yellow ochre right through here. Just straight yellow ochre. Just first I'm going to put some burnt umber down, and then I'll just do just straight yellow ochre. Okay. Very fun. Let's start putting in a little bit of this. Let's mix up a blue. It's going to be reflecting the sky. This is kind of a frozen lake in my mind. It's going to kind of look different than most lakes that I do. And I want it to kind of look a little bit frozen. Very, very cold feeling. Like the snow just fell and just froze or something. I don't know. All right, let's come up here. Let's bring this confident blue right through here. And going sideways. Let the brush break once in a while and just kind of create a sense of reflection. So we kind of go like this and let it break. Like that. Love the paint. It's your best friend. It wants to work well with you. And if you just sort of bond with it and understand it and let it do what it wants, this whole process just becomes so easy if we just let the paint do what it naturally wants to do. And, oh, good. I want that to be relatively flat, but I like that sideways, just kind of sheen. See, this is why I like this kind of painting so much. You can really play with just, oh, you know what I want to do? I want to add a little bit of yellow. Yeah, there. A little bit more. I want to kind of bring this through here. There. I like that kind of teal. I want a little bit more. It's kind of teal-y effect. Look at this. There we go. Kind of going all the way through here. And these are going to be tree reflections, but I want to just hint at them here. Don't want to do too much. We'll bring this green, just this little strip here. There. Beautiful. Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, some more rocks. So let's just mix up a little color here. Yellow ochre, burnt umber, mix those up. Kind of a neutral rock color. We can kind of lay in different rocks here. Bunch of little guys. And then we can put a brighter highlight on these. Like the snow is just kind of hitting these little guys. I mean, the sun is just hitting these, making the tops of the rocks brighter. There we go. I think that's starting to be communicated. Now let's get some white snow. Add a little bit more white to it. There we go. We can place some snow over these areas. It's creeping up all the way to the bank. It's covering up some of these rocks that we made. It's kind of going like that. And a little bit more right through there. Wonderful. I want a tree shadow coming across the lake, just a bold shadow. And then it's going to kind of make all this blue too. So I want to mix up a pretty dark shadow color for the snow. It's more blue. There we go. Some burnt umber. A little bit more. Even more. There we go. All right, with this blue, we're going to go across like this. Kind of like that. There we go. And I want to get this yellowy kind of color right through here. Just kind of, but we're preserving the sketch underneath to kind of be the reflection. And then we can kind of use some white here and some yellow. Kind of make some sparkles through here. There. All right. Now let's put some bluer, whiter, kind of a lighter, shadowy color. There we go. Not a little bit of red to it. What the heck? Maybe a little bit more. It's lighter, kind of shadow color, and we're just going to place it through here. Kind of like that. Letting it smear on that other color there. I like that. Just kind of over on top of that. And kind of in between these rocks. I was going to paint these rocks, but I was like, you know what? Let's just put snow around these dark sketch marks, and that'll be the dark part. Why not? Okay. And a little bit more dark on top of this lighter snow. Letting it blend on the canvas. Perfect. That gives some detail there. Very limited detail, but a little bit. And then one more right there. There. Okay. Let's do... I want to make these rocks darker right through here. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to do before we move on. I think I want to introduce red once in a while through here. There. It's kind of a fun color to bring up by that yellow ochre, just for design purposes. For the sake of design. Okay. All right, let's get some burnt umber. This will be good. Let's use this burnt umber by itself, just straight. Put it on the canvas. Right up here. These rocks, I want them to be heavy impasto, dark, dark. This darkness will really make the rest of the painting work better. So I want to spread a lot of darkness in this area. Let's really just lay that on. There we go. Very dark. Okay. And through here. And here. Kind of, let's make all this pretty dark. I'll add snow on top of this. Let's just cover all this up. A bunch of rocks. Kind of just live in here. But the angle's important, and there's so much paint. There's a lot of paint on this. Okay. And some up here. This will be great. Kind of darken that up. Okay. Lighter snow colors. I want to mix up another just kind of neutral snow color. There we go. Kind of like how dark that is. It could be fun right around here. Ooh, I like that. Kind of made this too dark, and then I realized, you know what? I really like that. So I'm going to use it. Kind of a darker snow. A little darker. Maybe some tree leaves are making that not as dark, shining through them or something. I don't know. Make up a story to justify your color choices. There you go. Beautiful, beautiful. Let's continue. Okay, I want some like cool, kind of like this, but like a little bit cooler. Yeah, there we go. Some cool blue snow. Just kind of, well, there's going to be a little land bank right there with snow that goes up and around, and we can just keep it going. Nice. Big, long brush stroke. That might be the record holder. Okay, there's another one. Mix up more of that. Burnt umber. All right. Covering that up. Covering that up. Trying to hint at detail here with as few strokes as possible. And we'll let some snow be on these guys here and there. Oops, let's really glob that on. I need more of this so I can really, there we go. Burnt umber. Needs to be thick paint here. Okay. Just kind of over here. Let's put some on top of here. Also, let's take some of this and kind of put it on the edge. Like this shadow is not as dark. There. Nice. I'm really liking this. I want some of this darker blue right through here. Kind of fill that up. And then also a lot of this darker blue, let's just kind of fill up this whole area here. Sideways strokes. Just big. But maybe let's experiment here with kind of not going all the way. Let's just kind of let our paints maybe just not go all the way down. It's like reflections in the water. Reflecting these up here, it's kind of fun. Idea, let's do this. Let's go all the way up between these. Let it break between these, letting it... Let's put some burnt umber and blue in this corner, kind of mixed. Make it our darkest yet. There we go. Don't look at this corner. Making it darker so your eye goes to the other spots. There. Oh, delightful. Very, very fun. I kind of want to bring it all the way to the edge of this guy, though, so let's just kind of rub this. Rub it in. There we go. Wonderful. Let's sort of do a similar thing over here with this same blue. A little bit lighter than that. All right. A little bit more blue. A little more vibrant. All right. Over here on this side, let's do kind of the same thing. Let's kind of do that. I want to pretend we're little wave things. Fun, fun, fun. And right through here. Ooh. Well, I'm thoroughly enjoying this. I've felt different. I normally paint in the mornings and film these shows, and kind of used to my temperament then. And in the evenings, I am a little bit different. I have a different energy level, feel different. So all those factors played into this painting, how it feels today. And I want to make it a little bit lighter. This will be fun. Check this out. It's kind of like those trees are farther away, so they're not as dark, and we can kind of blend that just between the two there, and then sort of there. And let's mix up a little bit of this teal color. I really like this idea of yellow, and a little bit of blue. Just make this very yellowy kind of greenish thing going on. A little more yellow. Ooh, let's just make a bunch of this. A little bit more blue. Oh, that's beautiful. Let's be bold with it. Let's just be nuts. Let's go crazy with this. These lines, looks like reflections. Oh, look at that. It's breaking. That's doing a lot. It's communicating a lot. That's working. I want these colors to be natural, yet have a sense of design to them. Beautiful colors. Celebrating artists like Van Gogh. Maybe just him. There aren't many other artists like Van Gogh. Perhaps David Hockney. Phew. David Hockney's a special man. I've probably learned more about how to feel when I paint from David Hockney than anyone else. He talks about it so purely. Really helps you know. All right. Well, I was very thankful for this time with you today. This was thoroughly enjoyable. And we're almost done. But I've got a few more things I want to do. A little bit of housekeeping here. I want to just kind of do this. And a little bit here. Just all the way down. Kind of thicker at the top. Ooh, look at that. All right. And do these guys. Well, let's just use this. And this reflection. And a little Well, there we have it. I've loved painting this today. This was great. A very enjoyable painting to do. Very whimsical, very interesting. And I love looking at it. This is probably one of my favorite paintings I've ever done. So thank you for joining me here. Thank you for being here on this journey with me of ups and downs and me talking about identity and stuff. Come on, you don't need to listen to this weird guy. But if you want to, new episodes every week. Just saying, until I get tired of doing it. But I probably won't, because I love doing this. Oh, hello again. I decided I want to add a little bit more snow to the tops of these trees, just a little teeny bit. I don't want too much. I want to take this snow color and just glob it right on, like it's thick snow, just laying down on this tree. Just the last strokes, you know? Just, there's some thick snow and it's just in the sunshine here and it's just cold. And it's not melting. Not melting. Ooh, that's pretty. Let's do a little bit more. Not too much. Not too much. Just a little bit. A few more spots. There. There. And there. Okay. We'll just put a little bit more. Like that. A little bit more. Like that. Okay, and then just the smallest highlights on the other tree that match this color on top of this green. I don't want to distract. I really don't. But I do want to unify it a little bit. Okay. Just a little bit more right here. All right, now we're done. I wanted a little bit of snow on those trees. I thought it'd be cute. And with that, that's the end of this painting.